The Metal Gear Solid franchise and its games are generally categorized as stealth titles and as such usually reward stealthy gameplay over going guns blazing. This changes a little bit with Metal Gear Solid 5 though, as they're given more creativity on how you approach each mission. The game even persuades you to play with multiple different playstyles as you get rewarded with new codenames depending on how you played. But even with all of this, Metal Gear Solid 5 still stays true to its roots, and stealth is still a very viable option, if not the best option on how to play the game. So, can you beat Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain without being spotted? And look, you see that guy in the thumbnail? I know he looks like dog, but that was the best picture I could get. Don't make fun of me. The rules for this run are very simple. Don't get spotted. What I mean by this is that I cannot raise an enemy combat alert. If an enemy spots me but I eliminate them before they raise the alarm, then everything is okay. If the enemy raises the alarm before I can knock them out however, then I have to restart the mission from the checkpoint. Also, keep in mind that this is not the same as perfect stealth. To be honest, I don't understand perfect stealth and how it works, but I still managed to get it in this run somehow. At the end of each mission, the no enemy combat alerts section should not be 0. I turned off reflex mode as well to give me more of a challenge. I'm pretty sure you already know why this challenge is hard, but for those that don't, let me enlighten you. First off, you have to be extremely patient and aware of your surroundings when you play stealthy. Sometimes I would think there are no enemies nearby and start running only to get spotted. And second, well, this doesn't really apply to stealth, but it annoyed me on this run, and it was the checkpoint system. This game's checkpoint system sucks ass. Sometimes the checkpoint would have you restart the whole mission from the beginning or make you run a long distance again. After repeatedly failing, and would sometimes cause me to be stuck on a mission for an hour. Though this is probably just a personal problem because I suck. I woke up to some banging tunes and found myself in a hospital bed. I named myself SpongeBob SquarePants and chose April 20th for my birthday because 420 baby. The doctor told me I was in a coma for 9 years, and upon hearing the news, I freaked out and entered another coma. After waking up again, the doctor informs me of my injuries, and I fell back into another coma after seeing my amputated arm. After waking up for the 3rd time, it was time to change my face because people wanted me dead. I spent a long time on this part, only to create a character that anyone can make in 2 seconds. Apparently, the Secret Service still remembered that I badmouthed the president on Twitter 9 years ago and sent an agent to kill me. As Quiet was about to kill me, Ishmael gives her a piggyback ride and sets her aflame. Apparently, Quiet thought the wind from falling down a few stories would help extinguish the flames, and so she jumps out of the window in an attempt to survive. Ishmael injects me with some drugs, and it's time to begin Operation Escape from the Hospital. But there's one problem. I can't fucking walk. We made our way through the hospital, and Ishmael recommends taking the stairs, only to change his mind to instead take the elevator after seeing me flop on the floor like a fish. We reach the elevator and some weird kid in a gas mask phases through the ceiling before Lava Boy bursts through the elevator. He was about to sear my ass into a steak, but ran away after getting a little wet. Further down the hospital, I failed at playing dead, found a gun, and it was time to get the hell out of this place. For this part, I just maneuvered around the top and took everyone out. I finally made it outside, and just as I thought I was finally going to escape, we crashed our car. When I woke up, a helicopter found me and was about to blast me into smithereens before a flaming whale eats it and Lava Boy comes chasing after me on a rapid dash. Just then, a stranger picks me up on his horse and I pump some shells into Lava Boy while we escape. After escaping, we make it to Afghanistan and I have to save Kaz. On my way to save him, I downloaded some hentai for, business reasons, saved Kaz, and made it to the extraction point. All of a sudden, I get surrounded in mist and the skulls drop in from the battle bus to kill me. I try to distract them with grenades and ammo clips, but apparently they don't get attracted to noise. One of them even stood right next to me all creepily and didn't see me until I moved. I know you can get past this part without getting spotted by them because I did it before, but I used decoys, and since I'm starting from an entirely new save, I don't have decoys. Apparently you could wait 5 minutes on the other side of the bridge and sneak past them, but I didn't know that at the time and didn't feel like waiting 5 minutes, so I just let myself get spotted and rode away. This doesn't matter anyway because I still got no enemy combat alerts at the end of the mission. After I saved Kaz, he says his famous line,
"Why are we still here? Just to suffer?"
And we have a bromance moment. In the next mission, I extracted a Spetsnaz commander and found a stray dog in the wild, so I sent him back to Mother Base. Back at Mother Base, D-Dog and I have a bonding moment and we recreate the Lion King scene. After this, I blew up the Russians' communication system and it was time to save the person who made my bionic arm. Needless to say, this mission was horrible. If you get spotted, you have to restart from practically the beginning of the mission. Random enemies would appear out of nowhere and spot you once you save the prisoner. And after I successfully beat this mission, I got spotted at the very end while on the chopper and had to do the whole mission over again. In the next mission, I had to find a secret weapon, and after searching aimlessly for it, I finally found it, only to get grabbed by a giant robot. Skullface shows up, we have a little chat, and he sends the skulls to kill me. I easily disposed of them and went on with the next mission. It's back to extracting more people before I was tasked to destroy a bunch of tanks and armored vehicles. During this mission, there was a prisoner I had to save, so I threw a grenade to distract the guards, managed to put one to sleep, the other guard booked it, I yeeted another grenade to distract him, and ended up killing the prisoner. Jokes aside, this mission was horrible. If I messed up or was caught once, I had to restart the whole mission from the beginning. This mission was hard because it's so hard to shoot a rocket without the enemy finding out where you are. I know I could have just blew up a few tanks with C4 and hid, but I wanted the S rank. Just a disclaimer, I didn't get it. Back at Mother Base, I knocked out a few of my staff and saw that D-Dog was now a big boy and I could take him on missions. In the next mission, I had to save a prisoner and met the most deaf and blind soldier in the world. I straight up blew up a tank right behind him, shot his helmet a few times, shot him in the face a few times, and even stood right next to him, and he still didn't notice me. I felt pity for the man, so I decided to send him back to Mother Base along with the prisoner. In the next mission, I had to fight Quiet. For this fight, I just dropped a few supply drops on her and brought her back to Mother Base. After this, it was time to retrieve the traitorous scientist, Huey. This mission wasn't difficult, but I struggled on it because I had to do the mission with 4 tranquilizer bullets. Luckily though, I found more, rescue Huey, and the big robot shows up again. It took me a while to finally distract him so I could board the helicopter, but I did it. We tortured Huey and almost broke his leg back at Mother Base, and it was time to go to Africa. In Africa, I had to destroy some oil tank and found a bunch of dead bodies in the water. In the next mission, I was tasked to find somebody known as the Viscount and extract them. Sounds easy enough, right? No. For some dumb reason, this mission is bugged and the interrogator just stands around without interrogating the prisoners. After doing this part for over half an hour, I found out that I could just download the location of all the prisoners and easily rescue the target. After this, I returned to Mother Base, talked with Ocelot about Quiet's abilities, and I unlocked Quiet as a buddy. In the next mission, I destroy a few walker gears and it's time to steal a cargo truck. Just as I was about to steal it, the skulls show up, and this time they were even meatier and rock hard. Why would you say that? That's not what I meant, guys. My apologies if that came out wrong. What I meant was that they were rock hard because of the armor. It looks like rocks. It took me a while to beat this part because I didn't want to get caught by the skulls, so I devised a plan. Since the skulls are programmed to move towards you, I took advantage of this. Before getting close to the truck, I would lay down all my C4 and put a few decoys with it. I would then get close to the truck, the skulls would pull up, and I would roll back to where the C4 was and wait. If one got too close, I would pop up a decoy, and once all the skulls were together, I blew them all up, killing them, and stole the truck. After multiple extractions later, I was tasked to kill a bunch of little kids. Because I'm a good guy, I decided to free those kids, a choice I would later come to regret. Getting them out wasn't difficult, except for the fact that I couldn't shoot anyone because I didn't have a suppressor, but this was easily solved with a supply drop. Next up, I had to extract somebody like always, and somehow managed to take down a few guys without anyone noticing with only my bare fists. Next, it was time to go to the devil's house. On my way there, some dog jumped on me, but somehow I didn't get caught, and finally arrived at the devil's house. It was all bloody inside, and there were people with earbuds in their throats. It turns out that Skullface was forcing people to listen to his mixtape by putting earbuds in their throats. Anyway, I found the kid I was looking for, but Skullface found us because the kid wouldn't shut the hell up. Skullface asked me what I thought about his mixtape, and when I told him it was trash, he sent Lava Boy after me. Shabani gets burnt to ashes, and I escaped after blowing up a water tank on Lava Boy. After this, I extracted more people, and when I came back to Mother Base, it got invaded by a rogue squadron. This mission. The enemies seem to appear out of nowhere, and if you get spotted, there is no checkpoint. You have to restart the whole mission, and I'm not talking about starting at Mother Base. You have to start again in the helicopter and wait to get dropped off. I only beat this part by luck because the commander came to me. In the next mission, I had to capture my son so he would stop terrorizing the people of Africa. At first, I tried to confront him and fight him, but it turns out that this raises the enemy combat alert, so I just sniped him in the head instead. When we got back to Mother Base, Eli wasn't happy that I stopped his reign of terror and tried to stab me, so I taught the little shit to give me some respect and to stay in his place. After countless extractions and rescue missions later, it was time to rescue Code Talker. And since I was meeting such an important figure, I decided to put on my best looking tuxedo for this mission. Unfortunately for me though, he had some really tight security. The female skulls were surprisingly easy to get by, as all I had to do was roll across the water, climb a bit, and I was easily past them. I met up with Code Talker and he tells me that Skullface plans to wipe every language except for English off the earth so people could only listen to his mixtape. After we managed to escape, a random sandstorm destroys our helicopter, causing us to crash. Once again, the skulls come to ruin my day and we start fighting. I had to do this mission a bunch of times and even tried on different outfits. At first, I tried to be classy and kill the skulls while wearing a suit, but gave up after I got gangbanged. Next, I tried the battle dress, but the HP regeneration was too slow, so I decided to use the sneaking suit. I defeated him with the sneaking suit, but if I think about it now, I should have just used D-Walker. We get back to Mother Base, cured everyone that was infected with the parasites, forced Huey to tell us the location of Sahelanthropus, and it's time to meet up with Skullface. Of course, I dressed up in my best tuxedo again, rolled through the fortress, and met face to face with Skullface. We sat in a car together for 10 minutes and meanwhile, Skullface was spouting off about his whole life story. We finally arrive where Sahelanthropus was, but it goes rogue, Skullface gets crushed like a bug, and it's time to fight Sahelanthropus himself. This fight was honestly pretty easy, just hop in the tank and shoot at his weak spots. If he jumps in front of you, shoot the little kid. After doing this, I managed to defeat Sahelanthropus, pumped a few shells into Skullface, and we begin chapter 2. I'm not gonna go into much detail with chapter 2 because most of it is just the same missions from the first chapter but harder, so I'll only be going over the unique and important missions. First off, I had to retrieve the AI pod from Huey's lab, which was easy. The next mission had me extracting the body of Lava Boy, who turns out to be Colonel Volgin from Metal Gear Solid 3. After that, I had to extract some of Code Talker's research, and back at Mother Base, we found out that Quiet is infected with the parasites. She gets tortured but lives up to her name by, you guessed it, staying quiet. The Vic boss lets her go and Code Talker starts talking with Quiet. Apparently, Quiet was infected with the English strain of the parasites and was tasked to release it here on Mother Base, but says that she will never speak English again. Those kids I saved back then from Africa all ran away from Mother Base, so I had to track them down. It took me half an hour to find all of them, and I was so annoyed at the end, so when I found the last kid, let's just say I made sure he wouldn't want to leave the base again. This doesn't work however, because later on, all the kids I just rescued along with Eli all escaped with Sahelanthropus. The next mission had me finding something an Intel member left behind, but it wasn't as easy as it sounds because the photo he gave me was blurry as hell. There are a bunch of guards surrounding the area, and some of the guards have full body armor so I can't headshot them to knock them out. After multiple attempts, I figured out how to beat the mission by using my rocket arm to fist them. The next mission requires you to do a few side quests to unlock it, and upon doing so, we get a call from Mother Base saying that there has been another outbreak. Sadly, I had to shoot every single person that was infected so it wouldn't spread. After I killed everyone, we burned them and got ready to pour their ashes into the sea. Just then, Big Boss starts eating the ashes and rubs it all over his face before deciding to turn the ashes into diamonds. You can do that? Wait, just give me a moment, alright? I'll be back. Yeah, so I can confirm, this doesn't work. Shortly after, we found out that Huey caused the outbreak and also murdered his wife, so we kicked him out of Mother Base and left him to struggle at sea. While it was raining, Quiet decided to strip off her clothing and honestly, I don't know what she's doing. But then Big Boss comes and we start having a water fight. And it was at this point I realized that Quiet was just for fan service. Somehow, Quiet managed to leave Mother Base and so I was tasked to track her down. She let herself get captured but does a reverse 180 and starts attacking the guards, earning her the nickname Nutcracker. Quiet and I fought off waves of enemies and tanks before we got hit by a missile and had to hide in the sandstorm. While hiding, Quiet starts to spasm and almost gives away our position. Big Boss gets bit by a poisonous snake and does Big Spoon Little Spoon action with Quiet. Big Boss was going to die, and so with no other way to save him, Quiet speaks English for the first time and then dips. The last and final mission is the same as the prologue but with a few differences. When we are shown our face, it turns out that the character we created at the beginning of the game was actually who we really were, and we were altered to look like Big Boss. We get some pictures and on the back it says "Good luck SpongeBob SquarePants," signed by the one and only Vic Boss. After the crash, we see Ishmael get out of the car and it turns out that he is the real Big Boss, and so everything we did had no real meaning. He rides off into the sunrise, the game ends, and I beat Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, without getting spotted. This challenge was a lot of fun to play through, though there were some very annoying parts. It wasn't very hard for me because this is how I normally play the game, but it was still a very new experience to be fully stealthy and play around with all the support items. Feel free to attempt this challenge if you want to. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like if you did. And if you need more proof that I completed this challenge without getting spotted, enjoy this montage with jazz music over it, and I will see you all next time.